Bring it on. Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirates.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I don't think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
We will get to Omaha. I can promise you that.
Red and purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
Welcome into Extra Innings here on The Sports Objective as we're in Season 7. And we are literally, ladies and gentlemen, episode, I believe it's Lucky 13, as we bring in, oh man, we've got, ladies and gentlemen, that is the closest he's ever been. We're literally, I'm getting ready to throw it to him. Kyle from LaGrange Barber, what's up, man?
You're ready to throw it to me. Wait a minute now.
It's baseball.
What's going on, guys? Pirates win 1 out of 3 on the weekend. Was a good win though. Could have took 2 out of 3, but we didn't. But good win. Got some good football recruiting news to talk about anyway. But we'll start out talking baseball.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We had a great weekend, and I was trying to get, maybe Kyle can send me a picture, but I know what started out as a tough night for Kyle, I believe it was Friday night in Duplin at the event center.
Yeah, Kenansville.
In Kenansville, they had Tracy Lawrence, one of my all-time favorite country singers, and what a legend. And
one of the stupidest sit-ups I've ever seen in my life for a concert. I've been to concerts. Jesus, Dave, you know me.
Yeah.
I've been to, if I've been to one concert, I've been to 100. You know, I don't know how many. We'll say between 100 and 200. And I've never seen a pit so big in my life. So we bought row 3, and row 3, because of the size of that pit, was more like row 20. It was a horrible setup. I've never seen a pit so big. There's no need, especially for Tracy Lawrence, to have a pit that big. People were pissed, but it wouldn't be on pissed for me because, you know, as most of our listeners know, I have very poor vision. And so I told Jessica, we sat through the first 2 opening acts. I was like, this sucks. You know, I didn't bring in binoculars because I thought I had row 3. And so I told Jessica, it's like once Tracy Lawrence got up on the stage, we got through the opening acts. So we're walking up to the barricade that divides these seats to the, pit. Which typically, you know, you go to concerts, pit, you know, about the first 2 rows deep, if there wasn't a pit. This pit was 15 rows deep, okay? So, I'm not kidding.
It's a tar pit.
We're standing at the barricade, and, of course, then a bunch of other people decided to do the same thing. So, I was like, well, we're going to immediately be told to sit down now, or they're just going to let everybody do it. So, we were immediately told to sit down. I told the security guard the reason I did it, and she hands us 2 pit passes once everybody else clears out, tells us to wait a minute, hands us 2 pit passes, gives me a big hug, and we go in the pit and have a great time. So props to her. Wish I'd have got her name, but very glad to hear, you know, see somebody when you tell them, hey, I did this for a reason. This is the reason why. I thought it was row 3. I got horrible vision. Can't enjoy the show. And she handed us pit passes. And so anyway, props to her. But to the Duplin County Event Center, look, you've had concerts here in the past. Tracy Lawrence was packed. And now, Dave, and we'll get back on topic, but Dave, I know you're a big concert guy too. They just announced Scotty McCreery's going to be there in August. So the biggest show they've done. So they better get their shit together because you're going to have some people because the other night that won't be back. And they had a real opportunity with Scotty coming up. I had a good time, thankfully. But there was quite a few people that were disappointed that did not realize that pit was going to be like that bought row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and were, essentially row 20. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's it. Now we'll move on.
All right. And then I know that since we're talking about the weekend, Friday night, you guys, we had, by the way, Kyle, TSO at the Bird Dogs. There you go.
Oh, who went?
We had Landis and Whitney, double date, and Steffi and Paul Hill, the mayor, the mayor of baseball. That's my new nickname. He knows everybody.
Yeah, we almost went Saturday last night. We really considered going, and I'd to see Jesus Christ, my brain just went blank, guys. Our former pitcher that started Saturday for the Bird Dogs.
Danny Bill.
Thank you. I was to go see Danny Bill pitch, and then I decided to stay home and watch WWE Backlash. And me and Stevie Fly did a live watch along, broadcast, podcast, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, Landis, Coach Paul, how was the environment at the Bird Dogs game? Not first of all, we'll circle back around what I want to know from a baseball standpoint, the quality of play. But before that, how was the environment? I hear the concessions are hugely upgraded from what they had with the Wood Ducks. What are y'all thoughts on the environments, the condition of Granger Stadium in 2025, and the concessions?
Well, first of all, I want to hats tips off to Chris. He's marketing promotions. I had a chance to talk to him on the phone and texting. He was so busy over the weekend, but he got Steffi and myself and Landis and Whitney in, and he is going to be very generous to the TSO podcast members.
Is that the gentleman with the sunglasses that I've seen on Brian Bailey's show and on Patrick Johnson?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And it was smooth coming in. They got there a little bit later. No problem. We got in. And the synergy and the electricity in the stadium off the chain. The music, the thrive, the pump, and everything. I'm going to let Landis hit on the concessions in just a minute. I'm going to let him. He is the guru on this. Now, y'all going to have to listen about this. But uniforms look great. Lights look great. And most of all, the entrance of our military coming in, parachuting with the flag, that set the tone for a great ball game. Anytime you have that entrance with the national anthem, being sung, and that entrance, play ball, and that's what they did. I think there was a lot of, as far as the players and stuff, a lot of jitter and hyped up. But all in all, that part was great. We can talk a little bit about the baseball and all that a little bit later. But I'll let Landis hit on the concessions.
Yeah, it's like Coach Hill was saying. It was a great atmosphere. I mean, what do you think, Coach? There were probably 2,000-3,000 people there.
At least.
I mean, it was off the chain. Like, it was absolute. People were excited about it. The getting in was great. Everything was smooth. They had, the Bojangles was a big Bojangles was a big presence there. We went around the side. We went out to the Mother Earth Brewing out there and chilled out there for a while. It was all great. I'm not sure if they were expecting that many people. I know they sold tickets, but it was almost like, and again, I'm not knocking it because, it's a good thing, but they seemed a bit overwhelmed in the bartender area and the concession area because there was such a demand for everything. And it was nonstop the whole night. Like Coach said, the paratroopers coming in with the American flag. I mean, there are 4 or 5 paratroopers coming in, dropping the field. All the owners throughout the first pitch. I mean, it was nonstop the whole time. There were games the whole time. There was an MC out there the whole time. It was energy the whole time. But we went to the concession stand. We ordered. I will say we never got our food, but it was because there was literally like 200 people in line. And they just got to get the logistics down a little bit. Yeah, it was pretty. It was a lot of people there. It was more than I've seen at any Wood Ducks game. I mean, it was wide open. It was fun. We had a great time. And then we left a little bit early. We didn't see the fireworks, but the fireworks were amazing and stuff. And I mean, that's a good sign right there. I know it was open tonight. It was wide open.
I will say, Dave and Kyle and Landis knows about this. the owner of the Bojangles, Cam, came up to me when we were talking before the game.
Cam McRae.
He's coming on the show, right?
Huh? Not tonight. We'll get him on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's coming on the show. I just want to, and I can't remember the other owner, but anyway,
there's 8 owners in total.
Who's that?
There's 8 owners in total.
Oh, okay. Well, he's one of 8 then.
Cam is primary owner. He was, as you probably know, Coach, back in the day, he
owned the Kinston.
Well, yes, primary owner of the Kinston. Well, his dad actually.
Right. Just want to give a shout out to him and the rest of the owners as Landis and I. Opening night, I would have to give it with it minus the concessions, but I think, as Landis said, and I got to support that because everything else
they need to hire more people.
They need to hire more people, and I think, and it was opening night. I mean, you don't know what to expect. So, cahoots to the Bird Dogs. Wish we could have came up with a win both nights. We got rained out today, but everything looks great, and I'm sure it'll work out itself. So hats off to them.
Yeah, it was great. I thought the baseball wise was good. It's probably equivalent to single A, double A type. Real clean baseball. I think they played Ottawa Titans. It's Ottawa, Canada. I think their guy that started. Yeah, he was about 6'10", you think, Paul?
Yeah. They also played the Canadian national anthem, which was very cool too.
Yeah, that was cool. So
I was going to comment further on the you said the level of ball. Yeah, for everything I read, I did a lot of research on the Frontier League. It's the equivalent of low A to high A, depending on your roster, is what they say. You got a lot of guys here that have signed major league contracts initially and just didn't make teams. That are majority of them, as the skipper said for the Bird Dogs, his job is to get those guys in and out of Kinston and signed with affiliated clubs as fast as he can. There's 4 partner leagues to Major League Baseball. The Frontier League is one of 2 that is considered a move-up league, where you got guys that are trying to get in affiliated organizations that are on the rise of their career, and the other 2 are leagues that are kind of guys who have been around minor league baseball, AA, AAA, and are on the way back down. So it's fun league. It's a major league baseball partner league. It is minor league baseball. It's just unaffiliated. And so the concession part, and again, you guys went, I didn't. I just living in this area. I have followed it closely. A lot of that will take care of itself, because they'll hire more people, and a lot of the people that they will hire will suddenly be, able to work, because a lot of the people they hire is going to be high school students and teachers. Yes, so all those people will be available very soon.
Yeah, and we're not knocking it. And like I said, first game, but that was if somebody being facts out there.
Well, you don't want to make a bad first impression.
No, absolutely not.
On concessions, but people have to realize the kinks, like Landis said, the kinks have to be worked out. What I wanted to say, I know they had the Bojangles, so they had the Bojangles stand, Landis. She said they had a Mother Earth stand.
That was separate.
Yeah, Bojangles and Mother Earth. And Pizza Hut also, I think, has a stand out there, from what I understand. And then I don't.
They have a really good menu, and everything's it's almost like a restaurant type menu.
The Pizza Hut?
The different stuff. Yeah, they got the Labrador sandwich and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean their sandwich specialty? But did you see I think Pizza Hut, does they have a separate stand also? Is what I'm asking.
Pizza Hut. I saw Bojangles. They had their had the Bird Dogs out there, what they called a little hot dog.
Yeah,
I love those. It's good.
Yeah, they had those.
I heard.
Yeah,
I know Pizza Hut is supposed to be a sponsor. Also, supposed to have their own booth like Bojangles. And then
that might have been on the left field side. We walked over there, but we didn't see it.
Yeah, it could have been they just weren't ready for game one.
Right.
But in another, you mentioned the specialty sandwiches at one booth where they have the Labradoodle or the Golden Doodle and all these other. I think the Golden Doodle, Landis, is a cheesesteak with chicken tenders, fried onions, French fries, and nacho cheese sauce.
Dang on.
I don't want to eat my dog.
I know. I keep
Well,
thinking,
they got a lot of dog-themed sandwiches.
Kyle, you need to be the spokesperson.
yeah, man.
Who's that? Me or Landis?
No, you.
Well, you know what? Tell him to hire me. I got some marketing ideas for him too. I'll help Chris out. Not that he's not good at his job, but I'm just telling you, there's a lot of things that on their social media they need way more video coverage on their social media.
Yes.
That is something that needs to be rectified immediately. There's a lot of things I would like to see, and they involve Mother Earth, and I'm glad to hear it. I'd like to see them involve a lot of the downtown Kinston restaurants.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so many things that I have in mind, and I think they're doing a good job. Look, and we'll get on Pirate Baseball.
Well,
they were packed again last night. I saw pictures that AT posted, Alan Thomas. Here's the thing. The Wood Ducks never felt like they were ours. And if you ever went to a Wood Ducks game, the concessions sucked. The atmosphere sucked. It was not any fun. The Bird Dogs feel like it's the same, it's more the similar feel to the Kinston Indians, like they're our team. You already feel like they're more part of the community than the Wood Ducks ever were.
Yeah. And I will say one thing, there's a brand new scoreboard in left field that's amazing.
Do they broadcast the video? Is it a video feed through the whole game or just so you can watch the game live on the video board?
Not exactly.
No.
It's just like a lot of good images.
Okay, all right. It got me excited for a second, Landis. That means more to me than most people.
Hey, I forgot the most important thing on the whole field that night. Tonka, the Bird Dog bat dogs.
Yeah, but you
did
know what
a
I hear?
great job.
That's not going to be an every game thing. That needs to be something for them being the Bird Dogs. They need to have a dog every game, a bat dog.
Yeah, so shout out to him. I thought he did a great job. I had a chance to meet him, and he's got a busy schedule, but we need to get him on the show somehow.
Yeah, maybe he can bark. Yeah. By the way, Landis, as I told you preseason, we got to get your pecans there in the stadium.
Yeah.
Billy's Company.com. You can go there, order. By the way, I had today, I have to, that's a pre-ritual for a pre-game meal, if you will, or a snack, is I had the lightly salted Billy's House Candy Company, the pecans, and they were outstanding. I know JR, I know a lot of people have ordered. So we want to make sure that Landis is and Whitney, super busy. Make sure that you go to Billy's Nut House Candycompany.com or before I forget, give out the markets that you were at.
Yeah, so we're at the Pitt County Farmers Market, Leroy James. We had a big Mother's Day market. Paul came out to see us, and Steffi, and JR did too. But that was a massive market. But we're there every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12. We're also at Davenport Harvest Market, which is a store on Pactolus Highway, like on the Pactolus. You can still order online, like Dave said, Billy's Nut House Candycompany.com. Follow us on Facebook as well. You can message us. You can pick them up from our farm as well. We do a lot of too. So if you have any gift ideas, we do a lot of business gifts, corporate gifts, especially during the holidays. We can do all of that at really any time. So check us out.
Hey, I just want to shout out to all the wonderful mothers out there, grandmothers, great-grandmothers. I had the honor of giving some birthday cake pecans from Whitney and Landis, and my mom and dad. I took a picture and sent it to Landis. I said, my mom loved them. And she said, why'd you only give me one bag? I said, uh-oh. So Landis, I got in trouble. I've got to give her some more bags.
Don't put it on me because I gave you more than one bag, Paul. Y'all got several bags. That's all. You tell her I gave her.
Hey, she's watching probably. Don't say nothing.
I know I'm covering myself on that one.
By the way, want to give a shout out, guys. I know Landis knows, maybe Kyle doesn't, really quick. Coach, I'm really proud of you. You got to talk about Friday. He qualified for the state senior games, Kyle. So I'm really proud of Coach.
Oh, man. Let me tell you real quick. This is not about me, but I do want to give a shout out to Pitt County Senior Olympic Games. Jennifer Coward and crew did another great job this year. I was fortunate enough to be able to compete again. My dad, John Hill, 84 years old, got gold. My mom, for the first time, got gold in several categories. And me personally, and this is really, I feel very cool because I had rotator cuff surgery, upper bicep. I set a record this past Friday on the softball long toss, 200 feet.
Wow.
And I am, and I still can lift my arm today.
That's a good.
So I do qualify for state, and I got gold last year for the past 2 years. We'll see what happens. Somebody might sneak in and get me. So, but so far so good. I'm very blessed.
And I have one more thing, if we can do that. I was at the Hurricanes last night. We got a big win. By the way, Kyle, thinking about our TSO brothers, as I hope next season that we can all go to a game. I think Kyle's never been, and I'm telling you, Kyle, in person is way better than television. I don't know if Coach Hill and Landis can agree, or anybody that's watching.
Yes.
The atmosphere they have there. I would like our and I do have an East Carolina connection. Kyle, guess who was there last night?
Blake Harrell.
Blake Harrell was there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on some social media.
And he did the sounder, the horn thing, and that's really cool. He was there, so we have a lot of Pirates, I'm sure, that were there last night. But congrats to the Hurricanes as they're up 2-1 on the Capitals. So we did get of the teams we pull for, we did get the Hurricanes a playoff win, the second playoff win of the semifinal round in the Eastern Conference. So there we go. We've had a really busy weekend. We have a long way to go in a short time to get there, like Smokey and the Bandit. But by the way, here's Johnny Robertson. He's having some pecans right now. He favored the Mexican chocolate, but my wife Lisa liked.
What's up, brother?
The cinnamon bun. I'm having the cinnamon ones, but they are delicious. Yes, they are. Every one of them I've tried the flavors, and Landis he gets you hooked on them.
Oh, he does.
Samples.
You can't eat one. It's like damn M&Ms or something.
Yeah, they're very good. Oh, you've got to try them out. They're very good.
I'd be happy to.
I'll be happy to.
Mexican chocolate's my favorite too, but the cinnamon buns are best seller by far. Cinnamon rolls are best seller.
Yeah,
by far. We made that by accident.
To me, right now, the cinnamon and the lightly salted are my two favorites. So, anyway, does anybody want to talk Pirate baseball?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Baseball's going to be the majority of the show, so let's get football recruiting news out of the way real fast.
Okay.
We just got an announcement. Mike Wright, who is a more familiar with baseball. Mike Wright, former starting quarterback for Vanderbilt, started 8 games at Vandy. Also started 3 games at Mississippi State. Has committed to us to be our backup quarterback.
That's huge.
He has 1,200 yards rushing in his starts. So a guy who does it more with his legs. So I got a feeling the reason he was a backup at Northwestern after losing the starting job at Vandy, I got a feeling the reason he decided to come here is because got a feeling he ain't going to just be a backup. With 1,200 yards rushing, I have a feeling Coach JDB has an idea for some Wildcat packages for Mike Wright, which will, and also having him on the team is going to give us the ability to run Caton Hauser more like we did in the bowl game because you ain't going to be as worried about him going down as much. Also got another defensive back commitment, a guy who started quite a bit at Rice. He committed yesterday. So, and we're close to getting a center commitment who was a starting center. Our center our projected starting center who transferred here from Houston went down with a knee in the spring.
Yeah.
So we have somebody, but we don't have any depth behind him. So the starting center from Presbyterian FCS, we've offered him, but still got some work to do in the portal. But so far for the spring portal period, we really didn't lose anybody of any significance, and we are bringing people in. We are definitely winning this round of the portal. So hope that continues. But big news with both those commitments: the corner from Rice and Mike Wright, the quarterback, gives us. That's an upgrade at backup over Garcia. Huge upgrade.
Do you think a little bit more option, Kyle?
I think what we'll see, if you remember in the bowl game, they did a lot of speed option, or not a lot.
Right.
They did more speed option with Caton Hauser. So I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a lot of those packages in for Wright. You're going to bring him off the bench, put him in for some Wildcat packages. But also, like I said, think that opens it up more for Hauser to run the ball too. So it's also, when you're going fast as we go,
Right.
if you can just all of a sudden sub your quarterback out, and all of a sudden you're running your traditional offense, then in the middle of that drive you sub your quarterback out when you're snapping the ball one snap after another, and you start running Wildcat. I mean, that's really going to throw some defenses off.
That's a double threat. Double threat all the way.
And you don't start a quarterback controversy with it. You
Right,
make
right,
it clear
right.
Caden's our quarterback, and this guy's got packages. And I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked for him to be coming here instead of going to try to win a starting job with 1 year of eligibility left. I'd be shocked if we didn't tell him that, and particularly with that skill set being so unique, being a running quarterback, I'd be shocked if he wasn't told, you're not just going to be the backup. We're going to put packages in for you.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that's I'm stoked about that. And thanks again to Kenny Curlings, one of our regulars, says we needed a legitimate backup. Go Pirates. Absolutely, Kenny. And Justin Butts says, get me a shortstop and some pitching. He's talking about for 2026. And how about Braden Burris at shortstop next season? Justin, Johnny Robertson asked. And I'll just tell you guys, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm not, and I'll say this, I am feeling like if there's some way, somehow we'll talk about the previous week, and then we have Wes Alexander in the green room, former player for coach. We'll have him in just a little bit. So stand by, Wes. I promise we're coming to you. But for me, I was talking to a Pirate fan this afternoon, and we were kind of consoling each other. And he said, Dave, if there's any, I want to throw this out to the three of y'all. That's why I'm asking it first. He said, if there's any way possible that this team could have like a 3-1, 4-0 week, and then you go into the tournament and you maybe red hot, and maybe somehow we can win the tournament. That's how we're going to get in the big dance. There's no question about that. But just want to get your thoughts. How is that? How can we do that? How is it that we can have that magical? We need that magical week. Are they the team that is finally going to get it together and maybe get red hot just when you need them to? That's what I'm hoping. That's what my hope is right now. We got to sell some hope, guys.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I'm going to be positive with it. Yeah, I think it can happen. And I've seen teams that are really good during the regular season, and then all of a sudden it's tournament time and they're like a totally different team. And it can be vice versa too. So
they peak too early.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it's a different season once you start the postseason. So some guys, they're like, well, they tighten up a little bit and they don't get it done. And just looking at this past weekend, Friday night 8-5, that was a close game, and really a lot of just not executing runners on bases. And then yesterday 6-7, and that was a wild game.
Yeah,
that game that was a fun game to watch, to be honest with you. But they were up 4-1 going into the ninth or something like that, or don't quote me exactly, but it was something like that. And then 6-7, and got coaches thrown out, turning hats backwards. I thought it was pretty great, to be honest with you. And then turn around and play again, and then win 8-7. So that's the number one team in the conference. So looking at it positively, we're right there with them. It's not like it could have easily been 2 out of 3. It could have easily been a sweep for us. It obviously wasn't. But
right.
I think it's a positive, and we've said it. Me and Coach Hill have said it. I've been on teams before where it seems like the sky is falling, and then you get to the tournament, and all of a sudden it just clicks, and you're like a new life. So we just got to get in the tournament. We're like in 5th now, I think. So got to make sure we make.
Yeah, was it top 8 get in? So you got to make sure you don't pull out of the top 8.
That's the main thing. So
Tulane has done it to us. So yes, we have a chance. Kenny says he's right. We've been that. We're actually. It'll be interesting to see. We're normally the hunted guys, but we're the hunters. So how do you play that role? But I think also, Kyle, I'm going to steal one of Kyle's lines, and that is, we're talking about other sports with football and all, but I feel like it's like house money. He doesn't use that term, but what do we have to lose? Go in there with no pressure. Just I'm going to do my coach. Have fun. What do you have to lose?
Well, I think I don't know. I don't know that we can go in there and play that loose because of expectations that we have here. But I'll say this: can we win the conference tournament? Yeah, I think we need to do it out of the winners bracket. I don't think we have the pitching to come out of the losers bracket and win the thing. So if we can get hot and not end up in that losers bracket, then yeah, I think we could win the conference tournament. It's not like the league is full of juggernauts and we can't be competitive, but we got to get hot. But I don't think we can do it out of the losers bracket. I don't think we have the pitching for that.
I agree with you. But it's kind of like Landis and we've all talked about. It depends on what Pirates show up. They know they're capable of winning, sweeping the conference. I mean, they've been there. You look back at the season, I don't know how many games it is. The games we've lost by 1, 2, even 3 runs, a base hit with 2 runners on, 2 innings. I mean, we win those ball games.
Right.
So they're right there. I mean, it's a tough season, and here we are, not guaranteed to get into playoffs, but we kind of set our own destiny with this tournament. I say we, make sure we're the 8th, one of the 8 teams in there. You got to do that. Focus on have a good game against Campbell and then finish it out and find ourselves in the playoffs and then regroup on things. And, Kyle, I agree with you on that. You can't play too loose, but play loose enough you're having fun and executing the plays, but don't play tight. Don't play tight.
Right. Don't worry about like making a mistake. People are going to make
exactly.
Mistakes. You start worrying about making a mistake, you're going to be playing so tight that you will make a mistake, and it could be a costly mistake like the season. But another thing, guys, that plays in our favor, even though I hate that we don't have senior day this weekend, we play Campbell, then you go down early. We're going to be right there across the bay,
absolutely.
We're playing USF in Tampa. And then literally right after that series, you're going right to Clearwater, which is very close. So I'm trying to find every single positive I can. I believe in this team. I told my buddy, he agreed with me this afternoon, that it really is a matter of I'm going to continue to pull for this team until the season is over. And I'll still
same here.
But until the season is over and we have to worry about, we're talking about 2026 right now. We still need to focus on 25 and, let's pull hard. Hey, maybe all the guys, we can get together this coming weekend to watch games, whatever we have. Whatever it takes for us to win these ball games, I'm willing to do. But
we got one or 2 regular season series left before the tournament.
One.
Okay. Yep. So you got South Florida. Okay.
That's it.
Tuesday, I think it's going to be rained out. We're supposed to rain a lot.
That's rain all week. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Get this, guys. Johnny has a great point. There have been 10 AAC tournaments, and the number 1 seed has only won it one time.
I think that was us.
The number 6 and number 3 seeds have all won it in the last 4 years. No team has won it without winning their first 2 games. And JR, that's why you get paid the big bucks on the show. We'll send you. Maybe Landis can send you some pecans. I don't know. I'm just joking with
you. You got some pecans coming to you. They got you locked in.
Yeah. I hadn't washed my hand since I shook it. I shook his hand Saturday. I haven't washed my hand.
Okay.
Well, it's poor hygiene there, Coach. Johnny. Johnny is unbelievable though with baseball, basketball, football. He always comes at you with some interesting stuff.
And like Kyle said, the only number 1 seed to win it was us in 22. Great team back then. And I'll tell you what, guys, that was the super regional team that we had hosting Texas. But anyway, I'm not giving up on this team. Let's not give up on this team. Let's focus hard. Let's do our part in Pirate Nation because we are the best fan base. I can say that. And you look at, the jungle, you look at everything that we have a lot with the baseball expansion, the indoor practice facility, a lot of stuff. Let's go ahead, though. We'll talk a little bit more in a little while, but we have a special guest. Coach, do you want to bring him in?
Former player of mine on the Southern Thunder Longhorns. It was an international team. A total of 23 players from 13 different high schools in the upstate. We were ranked '1 for. I'm getting older, but 3 years I think we started out at 16U and went 17U, 18U, and #1 in the coaches poll, nationally ranked. Went to Puerto Rico and undefeated in Puerto Rico as of right now with this team. One of my former catchers and leaders of Sandra from South Carolina.
All right, Wes, bringing you in. How you doing, Wes?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're grateful to have you on. I feel a little bit outnumbered. We've got 2 catchers on the show at one time. Is that too many? Like
it's usually 2 catchers per 1 pitcher, so the stats are good.
Okay. All right.
How you doing, Wes?
Good. How are you, Coach?
Doing great, man. I appreciate your time. I'll let Dave roll it, man. He's the master.
Well, thank you. No pressure. Wes, glad to have you on. The one thing I've learned about Coach is that for the younger kids, I may not know what a Rolodex is, but the guy's got a Rolodex. We got to talk off air. There's a few people that you'll be surprised. But anyway.
I bought one of those Rolodexes on the streets of New York. Turns out it wasn't real.
Oh, man. Coach, well,
you mean a Rolodex? I was thinking of a Rolex.
Poor Coach Hill thought it was real, man. Kyle, you've ruined his night. So he's been walking around styling and profiling with his Rolex watch, his alligator shoes, and he thought it was real. So, but anyway, Wes, we wanted to have you on. Coach highly recommended you. Thank you for coming on, and we're obviously going to talk some baseball. And I don't know how familiar you are with ECU, but obviously we're going to talk about just baseball in general. And first, can you talk about how you met Coach Hill and maybe how you got the start?
Yeah. So first off, appreciate you having me. The way I met Coach Hill, I was going into my, I think, junior year of high school. And I had a buddy on my team that we were both looking for places to play. He knew some guys in kind of the next county, next school district over that were talking about a team, and they were going to have tryouts coming up soon. And he was a guy that I had caught behind the dish since I was probably 8. So he said, "Hey, man, I'm going to go try out for this team." But he was like, "If I make it, I want my catcher there." So he said, "Why don't you come to this tryout with me?" And we both went together. We both ended up making the team, and Coach Hill was the coach. And so then we played the next 2-3 years every summer. Played a lot of baseball in those couple summers. But yeah, I think it was right before my junior year of high school. And that was the Southern Thunder. We had a lot of good guys on that team, a lot of college athletes on that team. Really talented group. But our thing was just we just played hard. Those guys back then, man, it was a lot of fun because everybody, and it was summer ball, but Coach Hill always pushed us, and just because you were there in the summer didn't mean that you were guaranteed some PT. So everybody really pushed themselves, and it all ended up making us better ball players because most guys take the summer off and they get their innings and they just take daddy hacks all summer and they kind of slack. But on the Southern Thunder, you really had to get after it to get on the field.
No doubt. And Coach Kyle, Coach has promised us that we're going to go on a trip to Puerto Rico because he's got a lot of friends in Puerto Rico that in baseball. And I told him, that would be cool. Don't you think, to have a field trip to Puerto Rico?
We're going, guys. TSO is going to be Puerto Rico. Wes, you're going to come along with us. You can be our guide tour.
Oh, yeah.
As long as I don't end up like Bruiser Brody, I'm good.
Oh, my God. No, we're not good.
Does anybody get that reference?
I did, yeah. I did.
You got it? Okay. All right. I didn't know. I knew Dave would. I didn't know if anybody else would.
Yeah. No.
Bruiser Brody was murdered in Puerto Rico.
They're good people. We know the right people.
It's not, and that was not the Puerto Rican people that killed him, right?
It certainly was a Puerto Rican people. It was a Puerto Rican wrestler who stabbed him to death in the shower.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was okay. I
Yep,
knew that. I didn't realize that.
Then he got off. Then he got off because the guy who owns the promotion in Puerto Rico last name's Cologne. I can't think of his first name right now.
Yeah.
Basically got him off. It was a local guy. But yeah. So
Anyway,
yeah, Puerto Rico looks like it'd be a beautiful place to visit. I'm sure the people are cool, but for a guy who loves 80s and 90s wrestling, my immediate thought of Puerto Rico is, oh, Sir Bruiser Brody was murdered.
well, we'll change your thoughts. Coach has told me several times.
Yeah, we don't go in that area.
We're going to we'll stick to baseball and not the wrestling part of it, but that would be cool.
I would tell you this.
That show was actually, I believe, at a ballpark.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Kyle, I will tell you this. Wes, tell the guys and everybody out there how safe, on that note right there, how safe you guys were. Y'all were teenagers. And Jackie Conway, who's a local here, was another coach. How safe you guys felt, and everywhere you went, were there not people watching you just in case? Because I made sure, because y'all had to have permission to get out of school that whole week from all your principals. I called every one of them, and did y'all not have study hall every single day?
We did, and
the statute of limitations have passed.
It was one of those things when you're a teenager down there. I'm sure Coach Hill worried about it a lot, but
I did.
The teenagers, we just felt safe and we were safe, or we just didn't know we were in a bad area or what. We were just dumb kids walking around just wanting to play baseball, but I don't ever remember anything that made us scared or anything like that.
Yeah, that was
Puerto Rico is beautiful. It's kind of like you get all the major leaguers in one spot and they just play every winter. I know when I was in I played in the Frontier League, and then a lot of them leagues, a lot of guys were Puerto Rican. And they would go back in the winter leagues, and just everyone from the major leagues down to the Frontier League would just play each other in the winter leagues, and everyone.
Yeah, so
beautiful.
You go down there as a high school team, and you win the first game. You show up and play, and you show up the next day, and there's some dudes that look a little older than high school age, warming up in the pen and taking 3 whole hacks. It's interesting down there. They definitely.
Hey Wes, tell them those guys, they had minor league players, no lie, changing the jerseys in the dugout across from us. We smoked them first game, but they were not very happy with us coming down here.
It was, there was definitely some new faces showed up the next couple days.
The next game
after we won the first one.
Yes, sir.
Tell the audience and tell Kyle and Landis, everybody. I know Landis knows and maybe Wes, but tell Kyle and the audience how big a deal baseball is in Puerto Rico.
Baseball is their ticket off the island, and I'm not saying that Puerto Rico is a poor. It's like North Carolina. There you got certain sections, but a lot of the island, is villages, and we flew into San Juan, down to Guayama, Ponce, and Salina, and we were taken care of. But it gave the opportunity of me. I'd never been there, and my players. The notion of how fortunate they were back here in the States, and I know Wes can, I'm not going to speak for him. He can tell you, they took that back when we went back. I learned so much, not only their culture, that they're great people. It's a wonderful. I've been going for 25 years. Love it. And they're my family. Paco Francisco is the reason why we're still so attached and everything. But we had an opportunity of a lifetime. I met Paco Francisco in Easley, South Carolina, at the Big League World Series up in the stands. And neither one of us could understand the other one, but we knew the language of baseball. And that's how we came together. And after 25 years, we're still dear friends. And he asked me, he says, you need to bring a team to play our Puerto Ricans. And I'm like, well, the cost and the middle of this, I got to get permission from all of these parents and administrators. But we made it happen because I made it to the sense not only was it about baseball, it was about life experience, memories, relationships. And as you can see, one of my former players that I love him to death, all my players, those 3 seasons we had together, we had our ups and downs. But not only did we win a lot of ball games, we won a heck of a lot of damn ball games and a lot of tournaments. The relationship that I have with all my players, and Wes still talks to a lot of them, is off the chart, and with Puerto Rico. So I'm very blessed and honored. Wes is up here talking to you guys. My mind's just wandering back about all the games and the tough times. But these guys, he hit it, and maybe it rub off on the Pirates a little bit. I love the Pirates. I'm a Pirate. These guys showed up every single day. Every single day they showed up. They didn't want to disappoint me as a coach, but most importantly, they didn't want to disappoint each other. There was never no pointing fingers. Yes, they got frustrated at times, and that's where I had to bring them back. But they were one of I've had a lot of great special teams in 41 years. But this team right here is one of my favorites because not only did we win on the field, we won off the field. And as you can see, Wes and all the guys are still winning.
And Wes, being talking about East Carolina and how having a tough season, they're getting ready to wrap up the regular season. But do you have any thoughts, being a baseball player, any advice that you would tell not only East Carolina, but maybe there's some Babe Ruth teams out there, some travel ball teams that are struggling, reg teams that are struggling? Do you have any advice on how they can? I know it's not a magic formula or you can wave your magic wand, but sometimes, I always hear the cliche is sports is 90% skill and 90% mental and 10% skill. So maybe some of that 90% we can improve upon.
Yeah. But no, just a little background on me. I'm no stranger to Greenville, North Carolina. I lived out on is it Charles Boulevard, Charles Avenue?
Yeah,
Charles,
you got it.
Charles Boulevard. I lived out on Charles Boulevard for about 8 months. And went to Pitt Community College, and was going to start my baseball career there, but for one thing or another, it just didn't work out. But yeah, I lived up in Greenville, North Carolina. I live in Greenville, South Carolina now. And I heard you guys talking about the down Eastwood Ducks, and they moved to Spartanburg, which is just up the road, and they have a terrible name now, but they got a nice stadium. Hadn't been to a game yet, but we have the Greenville Drive, which is a mini Fenway in Greenville, and it's an awesome atmosphere. But yeah, no, it's I'm a high school baseball coach right now, and man, we probably had the toughest season that I've ever seen a team have as far as injuries and just adversity coming from off the field. We had we lost a player, unfortunately, to passing away 2 days before the season, and then we just had a multitude of adversities, more injuries than I've ever seen any team have. It was just a lot of freak accidents that, you can't blame your strength and conditioning or nothing like that. It's just freak stuff that just crazy stuff happens. And, the whole thing is just with baseball, you just got to keep playing. I mean, you just can't. It's a game designed for you to fail. I mean, 3 out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. So you just,
yeah, Justin Bucks.
You just got to keep swinging it. You swing your way into slumps, you swing your way out of them, and you just got to keep showing up to the ballpark. I mean, East Carolina is a great tradition of baseball, and Coach Godwin's a really good baseball coach. He knows what to say to get his team going, and I'm sure they will come tournament time. I try to keep up with the Pirates as much as I can. I live down here in Clemson and Gamecock country, which is Clemson's got an ECU guy right now at the helm, Eric Backage.
And Nick Schlevel, right?
Yeah, doing a lot of good things down here. I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple times, and he's doing some good stuff down at Clemson. He's got Coach's boy Jack Leggett back on the staff. I know that's Coach Hill's guy right there.
Hey, legend.
Yeah, really good. But yeah, I mean, if I could just say anything to Babe Ruth kids or Little League kids or anything, it's the same thing I tell my high schoolers is just, hey, you're gonna have ups and downs in this game. It's designed that way. I mean, it's a hard game, and you just got to keep swinging it. Just keep showing up to the ballpark.
Right.
Keep showing up to the ballpark. It's a crazy game. Anything can happen. I mean, just look. Coastal Carolina got hot one year and went on and won the College World Series, and nobody expected that. And they're right on the same lines as East Carolina. To me, they just, they're one of those really good smaller schools, but a rich baseball program. And if you get hot at the right time, there's no telling what can happen.
No doubt. We wanted to ask you, being a baseball guy, also about the increase of where we can have is up to 34 scholarships, I think. The 11.7 was scholarships was so antiquated, so outdated.
I heard we're going to go to 21.
That the Pirates are the 21.
Yes, that's what I heard.
All right. Well,
don't take that for stamped and delivered, but that's what I heard.
Kyle, I think I heard that somewhere too. I'm trying to remember who told me that.
Yeah, but we.
I don't remember where I heard it either, Coach, but I know I heard it somewhere.
So that means you'd have about 13 walk-ons, so something like that. So anyway, we the cool thing is that's another thing, a check for college baseball fans. We don't have to talk about that anymore. We've talked about that for 7 years on this show, and a lot of us before the show even started. But Wes, what is your take on that? And then, well, obviously, how you feel about the transfer portal and NIL?
Yeah, I mean, more scholarships is always, I don't mind it. I was in the era where coaches would sign you to a scholarship, but they were just giving you $500 to cover your books. And then you were a scholarship player at whatever school, So I definitely think it's going to help some kids. NIL in the transfer portal is, I don't think it's bad. I think the way they set it up originally is bad. Just kind of having the Wild West and no guidelines or anything like that to it is not
that's
great.
about to change.
Yeah. Transfer portal, I think they got to do something about it. I don't mind guys leaving if they're not in the right situation or something like that, but I think you got to put a limit on it. I don't think somebody should play for 4 different schools in 4 years. It's tough. You want the kid to be able to put himself in a situation where he could thrive and maybe go to the next level. But man, transferring just because you get your feelings hurt and somebody else had a little bit better year than you at your position it's just not the way I grew up playing ball. It's kind of the way of the world now. It's one of them things where as a coach, you kind of got to embrace it and use it. It's a tool. It can make your team better. It's hurting. It's kind of hurting recruiting at the high school level. A lot of guys are signing to D2 schools and JUCO schools now. And with JUCO not counting as your eligibility anymore, JUCO is going to get some guys now.
It's going to destroy. That's going to destroy Division II programs, etc. Anybody who's on the peripheral of Division I ball is going to go JUCO at least for a year to see if they can get a Division I offer. I don't know what Division II schools are going to do.
Yeah, I mean we have a really great Division II school in not far from my house. It's North Greenville University. They're coached by Landon Powell.
Mount Olive here too.
Yeah, Mount Olive's up there by y'all. That's right. And it's just he does a good job at like somehow getting former D1s and guys like that. But it's gonna kill it, man. It's gonna hurt bad because why would you go D2, D3 and waste a year of eligibility when you can go down to JUCO and then maybe put up numbers and maybe get yourself into in East Carolina, maybe get into Coastal, maybe get on the squad at North Carolina. I'm a big Tar Heel guy, by the way, so trying to.
Oh, that's why you referred to East Carolina as a smaller school. I got you.
Yeah, well, not a Power 4, but big on the national baseball scale for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that they needed to. I think they rushed the NIL stuff just to make people happy, and I think it's become the Wild West awfully quick.
Yeah, thankfully that's about to change with some legislation. It looks like Trump might finally do something I agree with this time. With his relationship with Tommy T, football's kind of dropping it, but it's going to affect everything. It sounds like they're going to put some salary caps and some maybe you're going to have to come somewhere and stay for at least 2 years if you're accepting money. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But something's got to be done. I think it's for East Carolina. In the meantime, I think Coach Godwin's going to have to embrace NIL a little bit more, and I think he will after this year. I think a lot of these guys we have now will be back next year. But if I was him, I'd put some serious money into NIL for pitching. I think that's really where we need some depth right now. I don't, in terms of people saying, well, we're going to lose players now to the SEC, et cetera, on a regular basis. Yeah, we will, but we don't have to win the SEC. We have to win the American.
That's right.
And there's no reason we shouldn't be one of the top, no less than top 2 to 3 paid baseball. We have the highest paid baseball coach in the American, so our NIL should be at the top of the American. So what we have to do is win the American. We're going to have to, some of the Sun Belt. But again, there's not a Sun Belt school that should be able to outspend us. There's schools with tradition like Coastal, Georgia Southern, and pretty much a good indicator that we're not the only ones feeling this right now. I follow the Sun Belt pretty close, and Coastal's having a good year. Southern Miss is having a good year. They may be a 3-bid league, but that'll be most. Typically the Sun Belt's a 4 or 5-bid league with a couple of hosts. And I think this year they're going to be a 3-bid league at most. Schools like Georgia Southern and Lafayette and South Alabama that are normally really good are struggling this year too. So I think it's being felt by a lot of non-Power 4 baseball powers this year in the Southeast. And I think we're just going to have to change the way we do things a little bit. We're going to have to again embrace NIL a little bit more, and I think revenue sharing will help East Carolina a lot with that in baseball as well as all other sports. I think we should thrive compared to a lot of other so-called Group of 5 schools with revenue sharing.
Well,
another thing that I think East Carolina's going to have to do a little bit is evaluate players a little differently. Maybe you don't take a kid that you feel is going to get picked up by the SEC.
yeah.
Maybe you take a kid that is going to be a solid player for East Carolina, win you some games, but probably isn't going to be on the SEC's radar to snatch away from you. That may sound counterintuitive, but I think we're going to just have to change the way, not only us, but there's several schools, if you look across traditional Southeastern baseball powers that aren't in the Power 4, and I reference the Sun Belt for a lot of that, and you look, the Sun Belt's going to be a 2 or 3 bid league this year, and that's not normal.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Kyle. I will add to the conversation because I have a little bit of a different take. I do agree with what he's saying. However, it all depends, guys. And I was trying to. I'm almost gone an hour without going into this topic. So let me see if I can take a deep breath. Okay, I feel better. What my concern is who are we? These are rhetorical questions. What do we want to be? If you are okay with being average, mediocre, then keep doing the same thing. Because I'm telling you right now, Landis, we had a group chat fired up at lunchtime today. But I'm telling you guys that we all want ECU to win. We're not anti-Coach Godwin. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to be a top 25, if you want to be the top 15 program that we've been in the past, if you don't embrace NIL and you don't, I love these people. I'm not talking about Coach or Coach Hill when I say this, but I'm like, these fans of East Carolina, I'm getting on the fans. It has nothing to do with the baseball program, but you have got to realize we're in a new era. Where have you been the last 4 years almost? But I'm like, I hear these people going, I ain't paying them damn players. They're making more money, and I'm out there paying for tickets, and I'm like, okay, so do you want to lose? Because I'm a competitive guy. And Coach Hill and I are old enough to remember the Pony Express when it was illegal to pay players, and that was football with SMU. Well, that's all of a sudden become legal. I don't agree with NIL. I've been
I don't either.
Kyle and I have been very candid about that. However, I talked to Landis one night. We were together on the show. I said, it's like the Bellamy brothers, the old hippie. Do we hold on to the old, or are we going to grab on to the new? It's time to grab on to the new, because if we don't, those days of regionals and super regionals that we've been hosting are over. And people get mad at me for saying that, but the Alec Burlesons of the world, the Burleys of the world will never play here anymore.
Well, I think another thing you have to take into account, Dave, is, again, I go back to revenue sharing. Because, we are one of the most profitable athletic programs outside of the Power Four conferences, top six, as a matter of fact. There, with revenue sharing becoming a thing in July, that will help us a lot, for all sports. Baseball will be one of those sports. So we have more revenue that's produced than anybody in the Sun Belt. We have more revenue that's produced than all but two other schools in the American. So, we're not going to have to just rely on fans giving going forward. The school will, invest in, it's going to have to start paying players on their own. And I've heard we're going to, about 75% of our NIL is going to go to football. Then it's going to be
baseball's not going to be good.
Then it's going to be 15% to basketball, and then 5 to baseball, and 5 to women's basketball.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question, because this is a baseball show. And let's be honest here, because I eat, sleep, drink Pirate sports, period. But what's the one sport nationally that we can win?
But Dave, here's the thing. I agree. I would give more money to baseball.
5%.
But where does the revenue come from? Revenue comes from football. So the majority of the spending is going to go into football. So if you spend that money on football, and 75% of your revenue sharing goes to football. So theoretically, if that makes us consistently good, within the confines of the American, and we're competing for conference championships and going to bowls every year, it's going to increase season ticket sales, which will increase revenue, which will trickle down to baseball. 5% of, I don't know how much money, they're going to divide up. Let's say I don't know how much of the money is, how much of the revenue is going to go to revenue sharing. Let's for shits and giggles say it's 15 million. So whatever 5% of 15 million is still a nice chunk of change.
I agree. I understand what you're saying, but for me personally, I don't like the end all be all, put all your eggs in one basket. I'm not trying to say that we should divide everything up equally. I'm not saying that, but baseball is a huge sport. If you don't believe me, ask Coach Hill. How big is baseball in Eastern North Carolina?
Oh, it's massive.
Compared to football.
Compared to football, compared to football in terms of high school talent, but in terms of the economy and how many tickets are sold, football dwarfs it. And it also goes back. And it also goes back to television contracts. Revenue is revenue. So the majority of your revenue comes from your TV contracts, and TV contracts are based on football first, basketball second. Now, if it was up to me, I say give 75% to football, then give 15% to basketball or baseball, then give 5% to basketball. Because basketball ain't worth a shit. Ain't never been worth shit. And ain't never going to be worth shit. Because we're always in the shadow of the ACC. But because of television contracts, the second highest producing revenue sport is basketball. If it wasn't for television, that would not be the case. Baseball would outperform basketball in terms of revenue. But until college baseball starts producing TV contracts, and I'm surprised it hasn't already, to be honest with you, because the TV has, really started going up. A lot more games on TV. Then you have your ESPN Plus platform, which gets a lot of streaming eyeballs to college baseball. Eventually, college baseball will be considered a revenue sport. And then when I think that happens, then it goes a part of your TV contract. The revenue sharing will go up for baseball. But Dave, I would say this: with revenue sharing, the majority of it going to football, I would say then that maybe opens up more opportunities for people to give to NIL in baseball.
What I would do is this. I'll tell you exactly what I would do is we need to have somebody like a Landis Wilson. Maybe you give them $1 million and a bag of those pecans and they'll come our way. But seriously, we have the donors right now that if we were serious, I'm just saying it strictly. If you say right now we have the best fan base, we have we don't have the donors of Wes's favorite team of UNC, but we do have a lot of donors that have given a lot of money, and they will continue to give a lot of money. And I'm not going to rattle off all those names, but if we have the intention of really competing at a national level like we have in the past, we will find a way to. If I have to take a suitcase to the Food Line parking lot and give it to a player, if that's what it takes to get them here, let's do it. Because I like to win. I like to win.
When
Look
this
Zach Root left last year. He's killing it in Arkansas. And we have those name guys will never come here anymore until we pay big. It's going to take big money.
I don't think we have to. We're not going to be able to compete with Arkansas money ever.
Let me ask you,
unless we get in a different conference. What we have to make sure is we got to make sure if we're going head to head in the portal for a kid from Coastal, if we're going head to head in the portal for a kid and it's us in Coastal or us in Georgia Southern or us in Southern Miss, we have to make sure we can beat out those schools.
Right. On the for the core players, you're correct. We're not debating that. What I'm talking about, you're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
the elite players. Well, they'll probably come here as high schoolers. They just won't stay.
No, but that's what I'm trying to tell you is that if we actually do the right thing and pay the players like we need to do, those guys will know that we will be.
How much is Zach Root making at Arkansas? I mean, do you have any idea?
I think the max is like 45,000 is what I googled a while ago. 45,000 is what a top player makes on some NIL stuff. Now that's
in
not
baseball. 45. God, that's so different from football where guys are making millions.
Yeah,
right.
I find that hard to believe that 45,000 is the top. I mean, I'm not doubting what you just Googled. I just doubt that that's the top.
Now, I'm not talking about maybe like a sponsorship. They might have a sponsorship with Nike or somebody paying them on the side, but I don't think like the school is paying Zach
School
Root.
ain't paying anybody. The school's not paying anybody yet. Revenue sharing don't start till July.
Right,
so any money he's getting is coming from NIL collectives.
Correct.
Right. So I don't think they're
and what they do on Instagram and everything else, their baseball cards, their figurines, the list goes, T-shirts, the Nike, Under Armour. They've got, that's where a lot of that money's coming from now.
Yeah.
But we're all talking about money. Why not try to get another conference, guys? You know,
I'm sure we are. Are you saying a bigger conference? Because I'm quite sure if the ACC wants to
bigger
invite
conference.
You could definitely probably come win the ACC right now.
Bigger conference, and if we had to start on the bottom and work our way up, by all means, but we'll have more money to do that.
Well, Coach, I mean, not to sound like an asshole, but I'm quite sure that if we could get in the ACC or SEC, we would.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we would. I'm pretty sure we take the invite.
Right now, and Wes said it earlier, our administration thinks we're a small school. We're treated
yes. John Gilbert has really no incentive to motivate, but I shouldn't say he has incentive because he does. He's not a go-getter, but no, of course.
If you were paid, let me tell you something.
If everybody in a bigger conference, of course we would.
If we were in everybody in the ward sports, let me just say this. This is everybody knows that this part is stating the obvious. Athletics is a wins-loss business. And if they were paid, let me tell you something. If they had where they were only getting paid by a commission like wins, you don't think they would be paying players? You don't think that they would be getting the best players out there? That's the kind of intention that you have to have. We on this show, all five of us are competitors. Even Kyle is a big time competitor and wants to win more than anything. And I'm telling you right now, what?
You said even, Kyle.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying every single one of us. I didn't mean it as a slight. Every single one of us on this show wants to win badly.
Well, I mean, I agree, but you're. I mean, I think. Look, I've had my personal dealings with Gilbert. Good and bad. Gilbert knows me. Okay. You've had meetings over me, Dave. So I'll be critical, but I don't know except for getting out there and being more rah-rah towards and he sent out a letter. Everybody, I'm assuming here gets the letter from the helm.
And I do
which
like
was
that.
about as clear as mud. He needs to go on and make that because the Purple Gold Foundation. It literally sounds like the Purple Gold Foundation is where we need to be investing going forward versus Team Boneyard because of future regulations coming to NIL. But it wasn't very clear. What I do think he could do a better job of, or hire somebody to do a better job of, is to motivate, encourage, and get people to give more. Now, you're saying specifically him. Revenue sharing hasn't started yet. So we'll see what money is dispersed, how much of the revenue is going to be dispersed to players. That'll be coming directly from Gilbert and the administration. But in terms of NIL, what Gilbert and this administration can do is be more creative towards the people that are in charge of NIL. Like I said before on the show, you're going to have to almost trick some people into donating, where they're buying something, where they're buying raffle tickets, where they're, I say, make the Pirate Club directly a part of the athletic department, so that can be part of revenue sharing. I mean, I think so many people are against giving to collectives that you're going to have to trick them into giving. If that makes sense. I'm not probably saying what I'm saying what I'm thinking clearly, but you're going to have to make them think they're just buying something and not even realize that's going towards an IL.
Well, I mean,
last night, I was just going to say really quick, adding to Kyle's point. I thought about you, Kyle, because last night at the Hurricanes, I know the Hurricane, we'll talk about that later on, but the Hurricanes had the raffle, like the 50-50 raffle. 50-50.
Right, yeah.
And somebody was getting ready to go home with $73,000 last night.
Which means 73,000 went to the Hurricanes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we can do a 50-50 raffle, and I don't know, maybe there's reasons we can't do it on campus. I know at the bowl games, somebody went home with 40 grand, which means there was 40 grand raised that night for the Military Bowl Foundation. So if you could do that every home game, good God, that's a chunk of money for NIL.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with you, Kyle. I agree with you.
Or maybe every sport could do their own individual, 50-50 deal where, like at football, you have potentially 51,000 people. Think about that, guys. I mean, if it's a $10, $20 ticket, and not everybody's going to buy a ticket, but that would be great.
Heck, just a dollar ticket. A dollar ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
You got 12 games.
Yeah.
I guess that BYU game, you got 51,000 there. That'll be a sellout, I'm sure.
Right.
You let's do something where you get Parmalee, who a couple of those guys are East Carolina graduates, involved, and come on the jumbotron saying, "Hey guys, if we, there's 51,000 people here. If we can raise $20,000 or pick an amount for this game, 100,000, whatever." We'll come perform a free concert. Be creative, or maybe just talk to Parmalee about coming to do a concert at Minji's, and all the proceeds go to NIL.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many things you can do that are outside of the box. I know Luke Combs did that for App State.
How about
and Eric Church, unfortunately, did it for UNC, despite going to App State. But
how about the fact that we could do I would love to have the biggest, just come up with some creative thing in the summertime where you have to pay a fee for the biggest tailgate party. And let's try to see if we can have the biggest tailgate party, and you pay so much for
on the off season.
Right. Off season. Yeah. And then that night, you could do the Parmalee show, where you have that night.
And they're red hot, they're hot again. They got a new album out. They got a new top 20 single. I mean, it's not just that they're East Carolina ties. They're about to get red hot again with their new album. Anyway, There's so many different things that could be done to raise money for NIL. I thought about doing, you guys talk about a farmer's market. What if, somebody did something where they got a bunch of vendors together at the Greenville Convention Center, all the vendor money, not the sellers, but the vendor fees and the admission sales go to NIL, and you do nothing but East Carolina vendors, people that sell East Carolina, like, related crafts or clothes or whatever, just a big convention, but nothing but East Carolina memorabilia at the start of the fall.
Yeah.
And I tell you one thing that a lot of my buddies were talking about, because I live down here near Clemson. Clemson just did a big thing where they hosted pretty much a yard sale from their athletic department of all their old gear that they give to coaches.
Yeah, we've done that before.
I mean, it was miles long line to get anywhere near it. But I mean, going back to NIL, I think, you said there's a lot of people that disagree with it and don't want to give to it. That'll change as soon as losing starts happening.
Oh, it's already here. It's already here, brother.
You start to lose, people will start giving money. I mean, look, I don't keep bringing up Clemson, but Dabo was one of the biggest guys against it. I mean, he hated it, and he hated the portal, but now he's starting to say,
I think that's a great comparison, Dabo and Cliff.
Yep.
I think we're overestimating how much these players are getting played, to be honest with you. Because I'm looking at it right now on on3.com's website, and they do valuations, and the top valuation players got in Trey Morgan, and they're estimating him to be worth $81,000. That's how much he's getting.
In baseball, okay. But again, it's still, even in the SEC, considered a non-revenue sport. So, it's still a lot of money.
Here's one right. Hey, Coach Hill.
Yeah.
Are you okay with me sharing with one of our ideas we talked about?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So here's one for you, Kyle, that I hadn't had a chance. We need to have a coach said that we all need to get together one day and have a retreat. And here's one of them right here. Our good friend Johnny Robertson. Clemson also hosted the Savannah Bananas with proceeds going to NIL. 81,000, Coach?
81,000.
Let me tell you, I was part of that 81,000.
Did you go there?
Electric.
Did you go there, Wes?
Me and the wife and the kids were there. It was insane. And I would tell you, I go to a lot of Clemson football games because all my buddies are fans, and it's just a fun atmosphere to go tailgate and stuff. I've been when they were national championships and they were playing teams that were in the top 5. And I'm telling you right now that crowd beat any Clemson football game that they've had in the last 10 years. It was electric that night. It was a good time. Whether a lot of people that's not real baseball. Well, so what? I'm not going to see a real baseball game. I'm going to watch the Bananas. And
entertainment.
And then, man, it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I never understand that mindset. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Just because you're going to watch the Savannah Bananas doesn't mean now you don't like real baseball anymore.
Yeah,
I've seen so many people say that's not real. Well, the Harlem Globetrotters aren't real basketball. We know this,
but they are very good.
You know what your boy, what your guy Eric Backage did in the fall was he actually had his team play a banana ball game against the Bananas, and it was only sold to you could only get a ticket for it if you were a NIPTE member.
Oh,
right,
which is their booster club or
exactly
or whatever. And place was packed for that. I mean, it's they that was a crazy baseball game, and it was a lot of fun. It was cool.
Problem with getting the Savannah Bananas into Greenville, I mean, it would be great. I love the idea, but they're playing Charlotte. They're playing at Bank of America Stadium. So
Kyle, off the record, you're going to come to our retreat, and you'll be amazed. I'm going to do my Rolodex, and I've already told Dave on the connection, we need to talk off the air. Before I say anything up here.
If you can get the bananas if you can get the bananas into Dowdy Ficklin, you need to get on the phone with Gilbert or somebody.
We need to talk off air, but I'll leave it like that for the fans out there.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll leave it there.
Paul Hill is guaranteeing the Savannah Bananas will play a game.
Hey, cut him off. Cut him off, Dave.
Big statement there.
Hang on, Paul.
But think about that. You think about that. Even though we're not Clemson, we're not trying to compare ourselves to the Tigers.
No.
But could you imagine 51,000 people in Dowdy-Ficklin watching Savannah Banana baseball? My daughter, her favorite team outside of East Carolina is the Bananas. She talks about, I bought her a jersey for her birthday last year. I think she wore it to bed. She wore it for 2 or 3 straight days.
Oh, they're red hot right now. They're getting to be like the Globetrotters were in the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, I will tell you this. I know this much about Jesse Cole. I'm not going to get into details. I knew when he bought the team in Savannah, down there, and his wife thought he was crazy, insane crazy.
She was about
seriously,
right?
and he I don't know all the facts, but I know he spent a lot of his own money to start it.
His retirement.
He wanted to be involved with it. He's still involved with it. He wears his yellow suit, top hat. He talks throughout the, and he, it wasn't doing so well. And then he had this vision of what he's doing now. Everything sold out. I was watching on last night the Party Animals and Savannah Bananas on TV last night. I was so jacked right here watching on the sofa. I was in the stadium. I've seen them in person. They are ecstatic. It's
Who
off
do
the
they
chain.
play? Is it always the Party Animal? Who do they play regularly?
No, they have like their own league. They have the firefighters. Help me out, Landis and Wes.
They have, it started out as just the Party Animals and the Bananas, but now they've added 2 more teams, the Firefighters and the Texas Tailgaters or something. He's slowly adding more teams to it.
They're going to
got away from that college wood bat league, and it was like,
so do they ever play straight baseball games, or is it always just entertainment?
Now it's entertainment. Back when. Yeah, it's entertainment, but back in the day, it was a summer league team.
Right. It was a summer. It was a college wood bat league during the summer.
College wood bat, you're right.
So they play the same 3 teams over and over, basically.
Well, 4. Well, 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's 4. Yeah. But they also play college teams for fundraisers.
But are those straight baseball games?
No,
there's still entertainment there. They're there to see the entertainment, but yes, it's a baseball game.
And I tell you,
it's their version of
when
baseball.
they were playing the college teams. How do the college teams incorporate knowing how to play banana ball is what I'm asking.
They get a crash course and then give it their best shot.
I gotcha.
Well, and it's speed up baseball. You have 2 seconds to pitch.
Okay, all right.
It's phenomenal.
Go. I mean,
there's not a dull moment like our regular baseball games, and I'm a baseball fanatic.
There you go. Paul Hill has guaranteed.
No. Don't you say that.
I will be honest. It's such a spectacle that you have to, even like when you're in the stands, you have to remind yourself that like they're playing baseball because there's so much happening in the stands.
There's so much going on.
Somebody said you may get the banana wish in Greenville.
There's so much happening around you that like you're like, oh God, I think that guy just hit a double. Like it's insane. And
these banana players and Party Animals.
There's been a lot of freshmen who got their banana wish in Greenville for the first time.
I'm not touching that one. JR says
these guys are true athletes. They're true athletes, and they're entertainers. I mean, like the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean,
all of those guys played high-level baseball at some point. They either played most of the time. They played Division I, or they got cut from the minors, or there's some high-level baseball players on that. It's just different, and I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I like traditional baseball. I love baseball, but I don't go to those games wanting a traditional baseball game. So
correct.
Coach Hill, Jesse Cole pitched over here at Wofford.
That's exactly right. Yes, I was. You read my mind.
Yeah.
I'm also quite sure that once you get past the point of Major League Baseball and AAA, it's probably the most lucrative baseball you could probably play out there in terms of professional ball.
I mean, there's and I will tell you something right now. You guys know that one of my hobbies is I love to look at prices. I'm a nerd when it comes to secondary market, and I was trying to find some tickets for Mackenzie last year, and I had to just give up because some of those seats were going for like $1,000 a piece. I'm not lying. I was like, that's like a major concert, artist, country or pop or whatever. And
you know what the most expensive ticket is for SummerSlam this year? Now you get all kinds of crazy crap with it, but there's a handful of seats in the front row for SummerSlam, $40,000 a piece.
Hey Wes, how did you get your tickets? Were you on the mailing list, or did you get them from somebody?
We actually got lucky. We the way you get tickets to that is you get put on a lottery.
Right.
And so I got an email saying, hey, you got picked, you're in the lottery. But even if you get in the lottery, then you're in a whole different lottery for your time slot to even be able to buy tickets.
Correct.
Tickets went on sale at 9 a.m. My time slot was like 4:30. I didn't stand a chance. And then 2 days before the game, I get an email from the Savannah Bananas ticket office that says, hey, some more tickets came available. Here's your link to purchase some more tickets. Sorry you missed out on the first round. And then, we ended up getting tickets that way. But, we didn't have tickets originally. And then on Thursday night, the Thursday before the game, we ended up getting tickets. And it was –
That's nuts to me that and you're talking about Death Valley. What is that whole 80,000?
Over 80,000.
81 and some change, I think.
Yep. Didn't they utilize? I mean, I don't know what the setup would be for baseball. Did they utilize every seat? I'm assuming so.
Every single seat they had.
They
had every single seat in there. They had the hill. The hill was full. Every box was sold out.
I'm not surprised that they sold it out. I'm surprised that it wasn't like all right, up to the last minute, then we finally sold it out. But saying it was 81,000 and it was so hard, because I've heard the same thing about them in Charlotte, that it's hard to get a ticket. I know they're hot. I did not realize they were that damn hot.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Wes,
they do such a good job at pregame stuff, man. It's a constant party. If the game's at 7, the party starts at about 4:30, and it's just constant entertainment from the time you're there to the time you leave.
Hey, Wes, correct me if I'm wrong. I talked to a lot of, I still got deep ties down in Clemson. Yep. And I talked to several guys, I won't mention names, but they told me they drove them in on the bus, just like the Clemson football team. They ran down the hill, and did Dabo beat everybody down the hill?
Yeah, just the Bananas ran down the hill. The party animals didn't.
Correct.
Dabo sprinted out pretty hard and ran down the hill, which he normally does that on Saturdays too. I mean, he's normally the first.
Oh yeah, I know. But I had heard that they brought him up on the bus like the football players.
Yeah, they did. They pulled him around the stadium.
You saw him on the screen. Did they have him up on the screen?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did the whole 9, man. It was
wow.
It was crazy. It was just a really fun night.
Did you see that from John White there on the screen? The largest sporting event, the largest crowd in Savannah Banana history, and the largest crowd at Clemson Stadium since they've started selling alcohol.
Hey,
Dave, a lot of it that night.
Dave, Kyle, and Landis, and we got Wes the connection down there. We need to make a road trip, not to Puerto Rico yet. We need to make it somewhere else. Okay, y'all keep that thought.
All right. Savannah?
No,
yes, sir.
Oh, Savannah.
Savannah. Yep. We need to. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you what was fun though, when they were in the College Woodbat League, they had the Savannah Bananas versus the Macon Bacon. That was a big matchup in the Coastal Plains League.
Yeah, I remember that. And that's why they were when he had that vision, they went from a tough time or whatever, and all of a sudden when they switch over. And Kyle, you were talking earlier about in social media for the bird dog.
Yes.
Well, the reason why, in my opinion, I don't know the people as far as their video people and all their social media. That's how Mackenzie fell in love. My daughter fell in love with. I didn't know she knew anything about the Savannah Bananas. She said, "Do you know who my favorite team is, Daddy?" And I was thinking she was going to say the Pirates, and I was smiling. And she said, "The Savannah Bananas." And I was like, "What?" She said, "I want to see the Savannah Bananas." That was like a year or two ago, and definitely last year, maybe the year before. And I was like, I didn't realize it. And then I started looking at YouTube and how much stuff they have on YouTube about the Savannah Bananas, that's where they caught fire from my perspective. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, probably social media. Yeah, you're probably exactly right.
Yeah,
Particularly with the
social
younger
media was a
crowd.
big key for them.
It's a whole different world. I'm telling you. Kyle, you need to check it out. Everybody needs to check it out. I could not believe what I was missing out on.
Yeah.
And I started looking on there. That's what got me to watch the game last night
Well, I
on
know
TV.
players play on stilts and all that kind of stuff and all kinds of fun stuff. I do need to check it out. I do need to check it out.
Foul, and there's a rule about the foul balls. What is that, guys? Help me out.
Yeah, if a fan catches a foul ball, and they catch it clean, it's got to be a clean catch, can't bobble it or anything. But if your fan catches a foul ball, the batter is out.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, get this too. Kyle, you can steal first base.
Yep.
You can steal first base.
From home. From
home.
If there's a pass ball and you're at bat, you can take first at any time.
Oh, I was learning all the, I was trying to get upbeat. I was trying to get hip, with this upbeat scale of Savannah Bananas.
And
hey, Landis, didn't you have somebody that played in that league or something?
Yeah, I got a good buddy of mine named Brett Fick out from California. He played for him. He did the whole Michael Jackson thing about 2-3 years ago, and then he plays for the Cosmic, what they call the Cosmic, where they do the black light ball now. They just came to Durham, where they turn all the lights off in the stadium, and they turn the black lights on, and it's
I saw that. That looked cool.
Kyle, check that out.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Good buddy of mine. He's my age too. Yeah, he lives in Florida, and it's just like, yeah, man.
So the whole game's just play with black lights?
Yeah, black lights. Lights are off. Everything's glowing. They're
Take
hitting
some gummies with you.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, and you can play Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd.
There you go.
Pretty, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so the way they score the games, it's not total runs, it's per inning. So if you win the inning, you get 1 point.
It's like boxing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
you could get 7 runs in the inning, but you only get 1 point. Or you only get 1 run. I guess they call it a point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, getting back to the money, as you can see, tons of stuff that can be done to make money.
Yeah.
And I agree with that 100%.
We have the Harlem Globetrotters every year. We could have the Savannah Bananas every year because, no pun intended, the people are bananas about baseball and they love our football team. And even if they didn't like baseball, it's a cool event to bring your kids to. And we could have
Going back to NIL, though, I do got a question about East Carolina for you.
Sure.
Okay.
So I was up in Greenville when Chris Johnson was the running back.
Yep.
Do you think he still would have played at East Carolina in the NIL era, or?
Initially, yes, because he wasn't very highly recruited coming out of high school.
Good until he started breaking out. What, his junior year?
He coming out of high school was a track guy, known for his speed, but not much else. And he would have made it probably through his junior year, and then that senior year he wouldn't have been here. Based on his trajectory, you saw the potential freshman, sophomore. Right. Then the junior year he broke out, and then the senior year he was a stud. So to answer your question, yes, but probably not by his senior year because he would have. By the time he was going into his senior year, if it was in today's NIL, let's say we would have offered him $200,000-300,000. Somebody in the SEC would have offered him a few million. So you can't compete with that.
So the fall that
you look at to continue on that, then I'll shut up and let you talk. But Ravel, who just went in the third round of the NFL draft, we were paying him. He was the top paid player on our team this past year. He was making $180,000, and he went out with a knee injury. Fourth game of the year, third game of the year. Yep. He turned down an offer from an SEC school for about $500,000. So there are some kids. I'm here. I know I am a first-round prospect for the NFL draft going into my senior year. They're going to pay me $180,000. I don't need to go make another $100,000 and go play somewhere else because I know I'm going to start here and show out for the NFL. And even with a knee injury, he was still third-round draft pick. So there are situations like that. But by and large, I think a guy like Chris Johnson would have been out of here going into his senior year.
Yeah, that senior year, man, he exploded that with his draft stock. He was already going up.
Yeah, he was exploding after his junior year, but the senior year, that's why I say he wouldn't have been here for his senior year.
Right.
By the way, Kyle, we have a Tracy Lawrence reference, so I want to make sure it's a little bit off topic, but I want to put this up here. Robert Matthews says, at the Tracy Lawrence concert, I like the way Kyle put up the emphasis on brother smokes a lot of LOL.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, he's watching my videos. Well, Tracy, kind of he kind of pointed the mic towards the crowd for that line. So you were kind of encouraged to put emphasis on that line. So it wasn't for any kind of personal reasons, Robert Matthew. I don't know what you're trying to imply. Why don't you go run in the field? Why don't you go run in the field with Stevie?
Oh my God.
Yeah, what I was going to say, the fall that I lived in Greenville, North Carolina, ECU's football team, that was the year they beat Virginia Tech, North Carolina, and NC State the same year.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, it was.
No, wait a minute. Virginia Tech, North Carolina, NC State the same year.
2007.
We've never beat Virginia Tech, NC State, North Carolina the same year.
Well, maybe it wasn't NC State. Maybe you lost to NC State, but I know that you beat Virginia Tech because they blocked a punt.
Yeah,
my apartment.
You're talking about 08. We were 09. I'm sorry. No, I get my years right. 08. We beat
07.
No, it was 08. We beat Virginia Tech and West Virginia in the same year. We blocked the punt in Charlotte to beat Virginia Tech. TJ Lee blocked the punt against Virginia Tech.
Did you not beat North Carolina that you kicked a winning field goal?
No,
right?
That was the year before. That was 07.
Yeah.
07, we beat
I had
North Carolina.
That, Coach Hill, you remember I had tickets and I had to sell them to you because I had to go home for a unfortunate event that happened at home. But
yeah,
I was all pumped to go to that North Carolina East Carolina game. And
yeah, that was the year before. That was 07, and the last second field goal.
They all blend together, but I thought it was all I thought the Virginia Tech North Carolina thing was the same year.
No, we lost to Virginia Tech to start the 07 season. That was their first game after the shooting in Blacksburg.
Right.
We played.
That's right.
And then we played North.
Yeah.
So,
man, for some reason I thought they were
2 separate
seasons.
seasons.
What happened? Wes, I will bail you out a little bit here. What happened is when we went. So when we had the end of the 2007, year where we had Boise State in Hawaii and we played in the Hawaii Bowl. Then we had the Kyle talked about in Charlotte. We TJ Lee blocks that punt, a little beamer ball against himself at Virginia Tech. And there was West Virginia, Kyle? Pat White.
West Virginia was ranked 8th in the country, and they came to Greenville with Pat White, and we blew them out.
Okay, yeah, West Virginia.
And all of a sudden, those 3 games, all of a sudden, we're in the top 25, top 15, somewhere around there.
We got all the way up until we lost to NC State. Actually, we beat Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Tulane, and then lost to NC State. I think we were up to 17.
Yeah,
we lost to State.
Yeah,
it's a fun time to live in Greenville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
John White says Kyle can't remember names worth a damn, but can remember the years and games and wins and losses. That's
yes, that's exactly right, John. As I've told people up here over the years, names are not my strength, and it's not just in sports; it's period. I'm horrible with names. All these years, 44 years old, you find out something new every day, and it's actually I have dyslexia, and it's actually a trait of people with dyslexic minds. We can't remember people's names, but we will remember details and events precisely. So yeah, John, you picked up on that, and John watches the show regularly, so I'm quite sure he's picked up on it quite a few times. Yeah, don't take me getting people's names confused as a lack of knowledge on anything I'm talking about. That's just a weakness of mine. But yeah, I'll give you details of dates and exactly what happened in the game. I couldn't believe I remember TJ Lee's name on the block.
Yeah.
Well, see, I can't remember your name, and I always call you Eveready.
Yeah, because Dave says I throw batteries. I don't know.
That's
You're not going to live that down. We got football season coming.
I don't even know where it came from, why he says that. I've never thrown a battery at anyone in my life.
No, I just got it. Is it West Virginia? West
Virginia does that. Yes, they do.
Not
yes.
Kyle. I said that night. I was just trying to be funny, and we're guys that was joking around.
West Virginia fans are known for throwing batteries at players' heads. I don't know if they're still bad about that, but used to. You were told to keep your helmet on the sideline at West Virginia.
Yeah, the reason I think we talked about that is you were talking smack to some opposing player was coming after you or something.
Oh, yeah.
And if you could take a battery inside, you would have taken it.
He didn't. And let me say this.
Yeah, back in whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say so everybody's clear. I was joking because some dude talked smack to Kyle of a player, and then Kyle was like barking at him, throwing smack.
Yeah, it was
back.
07
He didn't
against
throw a
NC.
battery, but I was making that reference to be trying to be funny on a show because we're trying to, I don't know, provide some entertainment here.
It was 07 against NC State in Greenville when they came in here and beat us. We were favored, and Tom O'Brien's first year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
me and a state player got into it, and yeah.
And I just said something like to end it. Kyle threw some batteries at him, and then like everybody, he did not really do that.
No, I cussed him out to the point where security guard. I did cuss him out to the point where security guard came and told me that they were going to throw me out at the stadium, and so I finally calmed down.
So that was my introduction to NC State, East Carolina. When I lived up there, I didn't realize that rivalry was what it was, man.
Oh yeah.
Didn't know. I knew North Carolina and NC State didn't like each other. I didn't know NC State and ECU had the same kind of deal going. And
the bowl game.
Man, my roommates were like,
tailgating. And hey, you need to come. You need to come to Raleigh this year. NC State, ECU.
He should have been, Paul. You should have been at the bowl game. That was one of the best times I've ever
had.
I
know. I try not to hang around that red school too much.
Well, I don't like that red school either. I don't mind
the purple and gold and the Tar Heel blue and white, but man, that red school, I don't mess with them too much.
I walk on campus and my stomach gets upset.
Yeah, it don't feel right being up there.
Paul, the bowl game. Me and Semenza talked about it quite a bit, and Dave was there too. I don't remember if you agreed with this or not, but it was a very nostalgic feeling in that stadium that night. It felt like the 90s in there.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you one thing: to see Bubba and Matt going nuts on the sidelines on ESPN.
Oh, still, yeah. I watch highlights of that game at least once a week, and you see Bubba and Matt on Rajee Harris's game-winning touchdown. You see Matt jumping up and down like a little girl, and Bubba standing there, and then Matt gets left hanging on trying to give Rajee a high five. It's great.
Yeah, my luck is that Bubba would have interfered with the game, and then they would have called the touchdown back or something like, oh, God. But thank God that did not happen. All right, baseball related from our good friend. Oh, hold on, JR. Everybody's putting up. How about a shout out to Riley Johnson for hitting 2 homers, including a grand slam yesterday, and for sacrificing his body every turn in an effort to help secure a Pirate victory. He's our player of the week, Johnny. I'm glad that you brought that up. I forgot to do player. Do you guys have a pitcher of the week? I'm sorry, I was going to do that, and we got talking about NIL, and thanks to Johnny. Johnny's a great producer from Northern Virginia. Thank you, Johnny. And Justin Butt says, give me a hell yeah.
Suddenly coach him quite. Oh, from the bowl game, yeah, after the bowl game, yeah. Blake, hell yeah.
But anyway, I don't pitching wise.
By the way, let me go ahead and start this campaign now, okay? And we'll get back to baseball, and I'll shut up about football. But as we start the football season, I thought our third down songs the last couple of years have been the drizzling shits. Coach Harrell says, "Give me a hell yeah." So how about we do this? How about on third down this year, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin go, "Give me a hell yeah," and then we play the Stone Cold Steve Austin glass break entrance music on third down.
I would love that.
It goes along with the hell yeah thing that Blake does. So I'm getting that out there now. I'm starting that. Get Pirate fans talking about it.
Kyle, you gonna crack a beer and drink it right there on the cam?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll drink it just like
you heard it. You heard it live here.
Get it all over me and I'll flip the crowd off.
Yeah. Hey, Justin Butt says he's pushing for it. There you go. I mean, I'm telling you right now, that would be with the Hurricanes used to have Ric Flair going, "That's another Carolina Hurricanes goal." Woo! And you have the team score the goal, and then you have Ric Flair doing that. That place was electric. Can you imagine? Steve Austin is not hard to find. We could even give him do a damn cameo
Oh, you don't even have to do that. You can just use stock audio of him going, "Give me a hell yeah," and then go into the. Or you could even use Blake Harrell giving me a hell yeah and go into the Stone Cold music. It would all make sense.
Yeah.
So.
Justice said, "I'll do it if Kyle won't."
Yeah, we both will do it.
That would be extra cool. That would be. I'm telling you, got to do like last night. We were talking about the Savannah Bananas, but the Carolina Hurricanes. The reason why they're so good is not only the team, the product they put on the ice, but also all the elements they have for the show. When you talk about your entertainment,
well, you guys are talking about David. I don't mean to cut you off. I've been doing that a lot tonight to everybody. I apologize. I either have nothing to say or I won't shut up. On the Glandis and Coach Hill talked about the great atmosphere for the Bird Dogs game and the paratroopers and the fireworks afterwards and all the fun in between innings.
Yeah.
Why aren't none of those videos on their Facebook and their YouTube channel and their TikTok? Those should have been up Saturday morning.
Look,
I got a great video of paratroopers.
I've got it right here.
There you go.
What you
It
just
needs to be
said.
on their social media.
I know.
I tagged them in it. They reposted it.
I'm making a phone call. I'm going to be on the payroll tomorrow. Thank you, Kyle.
Well, you get me on there too. I'll help them out.
I want to see Kyle. You have like the Cousin Eddie or some kind of character.
I got a million great ideas for the
Paul Hill bobblehead night at the.
Hey,
I'll get Trey, my son, to make them for us.
I did. You know what? They may have missed their mark on that for his first performance Saturday. See how he does the rest of the year. But a Danny Bill bobblehead night at the Wood Duck or the Bird Dogs game probably would work.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a hell yeah on that one.
Yeah, there you go.
David Hackney said, which he's correct, that sounds good. But didn't Stone Cold play for at North Texas?
He did. He did when they were at 1AA FCS. He definitely did. But I don't. Do we even play North Texas this year? I don't know if we. I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
Guess what? He doesn't care if you get pay him a little something. Or
we ain't got to pay him anything. Nobody's going to charge anybody for that.
I would invite. What I would do is I would get Stone Cold.
Well, what is the difference between using his interest music on third down and uses any other commercial interest music on third down? If we either have to pay for it or we don't. It's not going to be any difference in using anything else. What is the bullshit we played this year on third down? It was horrible. It started off like standing on business.
It sounded like a WWE, like a really bad character, like entrance. Like it was really bad. It was really bad. And Justin talks about the Bird Dogs should have had a major high school tournament spring break. Where was the coverage? Should have been promoted. And we're not knocking Bird Dogs. We actually.
No, I love them. If it's the other way, I want them to succeed.
Can we make that announcement now, Coach Hill? By the way.
What's that?
About the Bird Dogs and us? Or is that not been?
Not yet.
All right. We haven't. We got to talk to Kyle and our legal team.
Yeah, we've got a lot of meetings we got to catch up on with all of us.
Okay. All right. But Kyle will be very happy with that too, I think.
Yes, he will. He will.
Okay.
But anyway, so Wes, we didn't appreciate you staying on. We didn't realize we were going to go this long tonight, but we got fired up talking about the Savannah Bananas, the Carolina Hurricanes. We had, I understand that who was it to put up there about? We got picked up a center in the portal. Apparently,
is that official? The kid from Presbyterian?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go check HTC real fast. I did not see that. That's another big get.
Yeah,
he was the starting center at Presbyterian as a freshman this past year. Was all conference in the Pioneer League. We lost our starting center to a knee injury during spring ball. We have some depth behind him, but not enough. So this gives us another real option at starter. He's going to have to develop his body a little more, but all conference at the FCS level as a freshman, or I guess he would have been a redshirt freshman. 3 years of eligibility left, so good get.
John White says, ask Justin Butts, could he umpire a Savannah Bananas game, and if he could do the dancing required? And Justin says, yes.
I love your by the way, talking about Savannah Bananas, those umpires do go along with the show.
Oh, every bit.
That's a prerequisite. You got to be able to dance.
Oh, that little dude behind the plate does not stop dancing.
He unbelievable.
And it is official. We did get the center, so that's another piece added to the.
Hey, a little Pirate baseball and question, or maybe stat. I heard from somebody down here the other day that Billy Godwin, baseball coach in UNC Greensboro and all East Carolina, and all that.
Former head coach.
Yeah, I heard Coach Hill. I heard that his wife just took a volleyball coaching job at a high school near me, and so they're going to be at the school I coach at, rival high school.
Oh,
I'm really hoping he doesn't get involved with the baseball program. I don't know how true it is. Like I said, I heard it from somebody, but
I can find that out.
I hope he's not coaching baseball against me.
I can send a quick text.
I can. Let me see what I can do real quick.
Guys, I'm going to hop off of here, and I'll close the thoughts as we wind up the regular season next weekend. We're kind of we need to we need to. What we got?
Justin says that's correct, Wes.
Ooh, there you go.
Okay.
Wes, you're in trouble.
There you go. He's going to coach against Billy.
Hey, Justin, you're supposed to be a friend. The poor guy. The first time we had him on the show, now he's not going to sleep for a few weeks. Thank you, Justin.
No, it's we just got knocked out of the playoffs this past week. I'm looking forward to a little off season.
Well, last I heard, Coach Godwin was back being a scout for the MLB. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I did hear that. I heard he was with the Yankees. Matter of fact,
no, he's been with the Yankees. I do know that.
That's correct.
Yeah, good. Maybe he doesn't get involved with their program, and I don't have to worry about it.
Hey, are they in the? They're in the same conference, Wes?
They are. They're in our region. It's our.
Well, I will tell you this: if he gets involved with baseball, your attendance wherever he goes will be good.
They are in our region. It's my high school's. I'll put it this way: it's my high school's NC State. It's rival. It's
real quick. Also, you do anything on the off season? Do any camps, clinics down in there? Shout out to your high school.
No, I'm not. I don't have anything scheduled this summer. My girls are 10 and 4. My older one's starting to play a little more ball and stuff. So I'm gonna take the off season and try to get her coached up and ready to go for next year. So
understood. Gotcha,
all right, guys,
brother.
I'm gonna drop out of here again. Regular season's closing up this weekend. We need to finish strong, but more importantly, for momentum going into the conference tournament, because that's our only way to get into the NCAAs. So it'll be interesting to see how the Pirates perform in Clearwater. I guess it'll be next week the conference tournament starts, and continue to watch the portal and football. And it'll be a long summer before too long, guys, and a lot of baseball to watch at the professional level. So I'm going to get off of here, guys, and enjoy the rest of the show. And
hey, Kyle.
Yeah, what's up?
Go charge your batteries up, please. Get ready for football.
You know what? Dead batteries, actually, Coach. You just throw the dead batteries so we don't waste good batteries.
That's right. Yeah. Don't.
Love you, brother.
All right, guys.
All right, man.
Later.
See ya. Bye. Good stuff there. Love Kyle. Kyle from LaGrange. Guys, do you have anything? We're almost at the 2 hour. We're getting close to the 2 hour mark. And Wes, thank you so much. Coach Hill does a great job with I guess his 40 years of a Rolodex or plus, maybe 50 years. I think he started when he was 7 or 8.
Yeah, no, I left that senior games comment. I was gonna dig in on that a little bit, but I'll let you slide on that one, Coach.
Hey, Wes, do tell these guys we were at the G Brave Stadium. If you remember this, and the other coaching staff and players. I was thrown from foul pole to foul pole with you guys. Tell those guys that.
So it kind of became a thing around the upstate. It was so funny because, like a coach catches a foul ball, a little dribbler or something like that, and the opposing coach picks it up and they toss it back to the pitcher, and it's always some sort of just lollipop deal, Not our coach. And it always caught the pitcher by surprise the first time it happened. But Coach would field it like he was playing shortstop and throw a fastball and just always catch the guy off guard. And one kid asked me one time, he was like, "Dude, what's up with your coach?" I was like, "Man, that's every time he throws a baseball to us, he throws it hard as he can." And it was just always really funny. But yeah, that old G-Brave Stadium's a college stadium now, Coach. Bob Jones in Greenville uses it as their baseball team. God, that was a good minor league field, man. A lot of good players came through there, but that was also the stadium we put Trey in, and Trey was like 13.
Hey, listen to this, guys. We were playing a team, I can't remember where it's from, but their pitcher had signed with South Carolina, University of South Carolina. And I guess Wes helped me out. He was throwing high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah, he was I believe he was a lefty sitting around that 90 mark somewhere.
6'3". Trey was our bat boy. He was 13 years old. They literally almost did a sit-down strike on me because Trey was on the roster, but he never played. And he said, "Coach, you got to put him in. You just got to put him in." I said, "I'm not putting him in. He's 13 years old." And not that I don't believe him, but we're trying, it's a real baseball game. They literally almost did a sit-down strike on me in the dugout during the game. So finally, they won, put Trey in there, and Wes tell him what happened.
Yeah, Trey was, young dude. You could tell he was scared to death, but Trey smoked a line drive that,
it was funny.
He got out. The shortstop caught it, but the shortstop.
Remember, the defense came in. They came in.
Yeah, they came in playing almost like runner on third type depth, infield in, and Trey lit the shortstop up. And
it was funny.
It was pretty funny to see him.
He was throwing 80, 90 miles an hour. It was unbelievable.
That was one of the moments I remember pretty vividly from those days, man. We had some good times on that team back in the day, man. Off the field, we had a lot of off the field fun, man.
Yeah, we did.
And then we won't get. I'll let you spill the beans on that Red Bull game later because I don't like talking about it. But I know you remember that.
I remember over at Southern Westland.
Yeah. I'll let you embarrass me on that one another day. But hey guys, it was fun talking sports and stuff. I don't get to do this stuff much, so it's a lot of fun when I get the opportunity. And I'll keep up with the Pirates a little more as much as I can. And I need to, Coach Hill, I need to get back up there this fall. Try to make a football game or something.
Let us know, man. And you're always welcome. I know Dave will welcome you anytime.
Absolutely, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah,
thank you for your time.
Guys. I'm going to jump off.
Give love to all your ladies in the house.
Will do, man.
All right, have a good one. All right, bye. All right, fellas, we're almost out of here as we thank Wes for coming on. It's been an awesome show. I tell you what, Coach has got the great Rolodex and started out with Landis, I believe. So,
Landis, that's my guy right there.
Yeah, Landis just never left. So we're glad to have him. And also, we want to make sure we sell some nuts for you, some pecans. So tell everybody again, and we'll give that to you before we get out of here. They can order at BillysNutHouseCandyCompany.com.
Yep, BillysNutHouseCandyCompany.com. Y'all, we can ship anywhere. You can also see us Pitt County Farmers Market. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We use all fresh pecans from our farms and other farms around Eastern North Carolina, and use Ghirardelli chocolate and vanilla on everything. So check us out, y'all. Really a fresh local product. Yeah, and we do a lot of gifts. We have a ton of flavors, and just give us a shout.
All right, sounds good. We appreciate it very much for all you do for the show and for the Snack Shack too. They people bought some more Friday night. Awesome. I wasn't there. I was trying to get my nights around. Anyway, everything is good, guys. Quick predictions. How you feeling about this week? Pirates have the games against Campbell and USF. We're going to pick on Coach Hill first. What you got?
Hey, I'm gonna stay with my notions. We're gonna get hot. We make the playoffs. The conference tournament. I think we pull out the win. I'm looking a little bit further ahead than Campbell and the weekend, but I'm feeling positive. We just got to get over that little hump. That's it.
What you got, Landis?
Yeah, I think South Florida is number 3 in the conference now. So, I think we're going to get hot here. I think we're going to at least win 2 out of 3 this weekend. I think Campbell's going to get rained out, but we should beat Campbell. And then, again, get into the tournament and then sweep that tournament out. No matter what's happened in the season, it's a brand new season. That's the way I used to think about it in the postseason. I enjoy
this. Will be a season to remember up to the tournament. People can look back on. That's my prediction of a very positive getting in the playoffs.
Do you remember we were all down and we were all upset, and all of a sudden the Pirates got hot in that tournament and went deep? Maybe, who knows? And
That's it.
I will say this before we get out of here. I have said when we make Omaha, I'm not saying it happens this year. Don't want to jinx us, but I did say it'll be a season like this.
Correct.
Nobody expects it.
Hey, that's how we won the national championship, 1989, brother.
Nobody expected that, but guess what?
Nope.
Nobody expects East Carolina right now, except for maybe the players and the people on the show, that we haven't given up on them. We're fighting hard for them. There's a lot of great Pirates watching, and they will listen to this podcast or archive later on. By the way, historical night again, the first time we've ever been on broadcasting live on Instagram. So we're always improving things. We've got the website coming up, so be looking for that in the next couple weeks. Coach Hill has got bobblehead dolls he's going to be selling on our website, I think, right, Coach?
Hey, we're going to talk to Trey about that. Trey's the master at that.
All right. Landis will be selling his pecans on there. We'll do that. But anyway, thanks. JR, one more. All right, JR. The Campbell will be canceled. The Pirates will go 1-2 in Tampa, which will give them the number 6 seed, and they will avoid UTSA and Charlotte until the finals. You heard it here first. Johnny.
Hey.
We have, all these people that get paid high dollars, including the Carolina Hurricanes. They have their analytics guys. Man, I'm going to tell you what, they have nothing because they don't have Johnny stats. I'm telling you right now.
We don't have our staff. They don't have our staff. That's true.
That's right. Johnny is the best. And buy more pecans and we'll talk about you more, Johnny. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. We'll get out of here. Good luck to the Pirates. I agree with Johnny. That game, this week is going to be total rain, it looks like. So we pretty much have to just put our focus on USF. Coach Godwin won't like that for me to say that. I'm just talking about amongst each other, the fans. Don't expect the Campbell game. And if we do have the Campbell game, it'll be a great surprise. So I accidentally hit that. Sorry, guys. All right, guys, have a great time, and we'll see you next time. And you've been watching Extra Innings, season number 7, episode 13. And thanks to Wes Alexander, Kyle from LaGrange, Coach Hill, Landis Wilson. We'll get out of here. Good night, everybody, and go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.